Nintendo's patent and Palworld dispute is being re-examined by the USPTO. So last week, I believe it was, we talked about how Japanese courts were being like, nah, this is bullshit and you know it. And now we have US courts are being like, maybe we should look back into this a little bit more. So if I was Nintendo, I'd be sitting there going, son of a bitch, we almost had him. We almost had him. So this is actually a positive sign for us, right? A significant development has transpired in Nintendo's patent infringement lawsuit against Palworld, as one of their patents is being re-examined by the US Patent Office. For those wondering, in September of this year, Nintendo acquired a patent amid its lawsuit against Palworld, and we no doubt would have talked about this on stream and probably have a video on it, so you can go check that out. The patent in question, US patent number, relates to summoning characters and allowing them to engage in combat against one another, which is like the most basic fucking thing in the world to patent. There goes like half the games in existence. Now, the USPTO director has personally ordered the office to re-examine the patent. So it wasn't like everyone did like a vote and said, maybe we should go through this. No. The top dog came down and said, I think there's some bullshit here and we need to go back through this again. So according to a report by GamesFry, which we have over here, USPTO Director John A. Squires has personally ordered at his own initiative that the organization re-examines Nintendo's patent against Palworld due to two older US patent applications. All right, so now these are the ones that fall under review, all those big numbers. And if they fall, then the other ones will fall as well, like a house of cards. The re-examination is being conducted due to the failure to cite prior art references in support of the instance of this patent. Now, just thinking out loud here, I think this all fell apart when Nintendo had that wild-ass statement about mods not counting. Ever since then, everyone's just been like, what the fuck do you mean that does not count? And then it's just all cajillions of examples have come out and they've been like, maybe we should have just shut it the fuck up on that one.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that. It was the straw that broke the camel's back for it. And on top of it, like seeing the recent events with Japan denying that probably caused, and plus the uproar for it must have been loud enough for him to make some noise about it himself, because you know how the USPTO is. A lot of times it's heavy duty bureaucracy, and at the end of the day, it really is just the stamping. And if those if these patents, and the other thing too about this is that the patents, like Kareem was, I think if I remember right, Kareem was talking about it, that the patents, the way it's set up is that there are a few certain things in that patent, everything else is super crucial on. So yeah, like it said, like a house of cards, even more so than most.
Well, again, just to bring it back to the mod stuff, and again, I have no proof of this. I think the big one that was mentioned that really made them shit themselves was GTA. Was when people said, oh, but I can mod Pikachu into GTA and have him kill 20 fucking cops. That's not a problem, is it, though, Nintendo? Are you going to tell me that doesn't fucking count? And that's when they were like, we don't want to go against GTA, man. Hey, we are Nintendo, but going up against GTA is a whole other can of worms right there. Okay, but anyway, the two prior art references have been specified as well. Nintendo's 397 patent is related to character summons in combat, and it seems Konami and Nintendo itself have patents that can be considered prior art. Konami's patent application was filed back in 2001 and published in 2002. The other is Nintendo's own patent application, which was filed in 2019 and published in 2020. Both of these prior art references teach a player being allowed to perform a battle in a manual mode and in a simpler automatic mode. So for those wondering, re-examination doesn't mean the patent will be revoked. Nintendo will have 2 months to come up with a response. Oh, they got to lawyer up big time. And during that time, third parties can also present challenges through other prior art references. Holy shit. Oh, you're going to get... Everyone and their fucking grandma's going to send you all these examples. Just as a fuck you. Moreover, if Nintendo tries to sue over that patent in a United States District Court, the court would say that proceedings pending the outcome of the re-examination. Oh boy. The director initiated the order for ex parte re-examination, what is this, John Wick, to address the element that the original examiner believed made Nintendo's patent distinct from prior art. Moreover, there might not be any more developments in Nintendo's lawsuit against Palworld in the calendar year. but 2026 should see some decisions to come into play by a preceding judge. So regarding the lawsuit, one of Nintendo's anti-power patents was recently rejected in Japan, which we went over. Okay, so
I have a question actually, because I'm not too well versed on patents, and I haven't been keeping as tight an eye on this whole Palworld thing. Oh, thank you. I feel so welcome here now. So if the U.S. rejects it, does that have then conflict with the patent that they would have filed in Japan? Does that cause issues for games that would be distributed on like Nintendo platforms in the US? Would it cause problems for games developed in the US distributed in Japan on Nintendo systems?
Do you mean if the patent's rejected or if the re-examination is rejected?
If the patent ends up kind of dissolving after the re-examination, like they realize like, hey, Nintendo, you can't fucking patent this shit in the US.
So I'm not a lawyer. I have brain damage. But from my understanding of it, just based off everything else, it just seems like we're kind of back to where we were, where people are just going, well, you can't copyright breathing, can you? So it's probably a good thing if it gets rejected.
Oh, no, I agree. It's a good thing. But I'm just because I like Japan's patent laws and probably Nintendo's patents in Japan are very different to the ones in America. So I'm just wondering, is there going to be a conflict when it comes to publishing or distributing on Nintendo
the one in Japan
systems?
already got rejected. That's what that big thing yesterday was about. Was Japan was like, no, you can't really do that.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm not up to date. So okay, thank you.
That is a valid concern on whether whether a conflict of patent permissions would come into play. I couldn't tell you for certain. Honestly, that is a lot of patent mumbo jumbo that I'm not familiar with.
This does
because initially people thought it was going to be the other way around. People thought America might be the one to deny it and Japan will be the one to allow it. When Japan's denied it, America was allowing it, and now they're like, oh, maybe we need to look back into this.
Because I'm wondering, because this opens a whole door for just like other developers and publishers to patent things, right? But given like there's just like games don't stay native to the countries that they're developed in anymore. They haven't in a very long time. So isn't this going to just cause like a pipeline of issues potentially down the line if people start saying, oh, we want to patent this, we want to patent that? And
that's actually what the big concern was about the whole thing was, well, where does this end? Because technically driving a car in a video game sort of counts because it's not the character that you're playing as. Technically, calling an airstrike in Call of Duty counts because you're the one pressing the button to give the command, kind of like saying, Charmander, use fire breath.
Yeah.
It's not really that different.
AC-130, use howitzer.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was a massive, massive can of worms. So fingers crossed that this goes to absolute shit and fuck you, Nintendo, you dirty dogs for trying to pull this shit.